Sorry about that, my wife needed something. I know my hands are greasy, shit. Figures. You cook something. I saw Cargos was back today, which is kind of... I mean, he didn't really say why he was gone, just... I can't remember what he said. I think he just alluded to basically his kid probably having kids, I guess. I don't know. Who knows? Who knows what's going on with that boy? Alright. Level 22? We still have a ways to go. I'm sure we can take out the... Let's take out the boar. We should be able to take him out. Belly grub. He does hit very hard. But...
Well met. Be careful.
Now you want to enter my group. Alright. Now you want to enter my group once I pull the fucking belly grub. Oh, actually, it wasn't the hunter though, it's a warrior. I don't even see the warrior. Oh, he's the one who's switching me the lair. Inventory. It is a full.
Need help? Farewell.
Good day to you. Have a good one.
What can I do for you? See you around. Safe travels. Looking for something specific? Light bless you.
What can I do for you? See you later. Have a good one.
I supply only the finest goods. Have a good one. Hey there. Have a good one. Step on up. See you around.
Wait a second. Okay, never mind. I can't believe I just slammed that Mountain Dew so fast.
Can I help you? Safe travel. there. See you later.
Snowflakes are falling in Monroe. Torrens and Mogor all dressed like gnomes. From Barons to Elwyn to Silver Pine.
Need help?
There's just one thing on our
Be
minds.
careful.
With every zone, with every quest, I hope you make it with no deaths. 'Cause it won't feel like Christmas without friends.
Hey, Valis, what's up, man?
Loving each other with mistletoe. Gingerbread cookies with milk that's ice cold. And Stormwind is covered in Christmas lights. This is the game of our time. And every zone is packed with players all day. Just watching all that old vanilla it's singing. As a rock is filled with holiday cheer. Christmas in Westfall this year. With every zone, with every quest, I hope you'll make it with no deaths. 'Cause it won't feel like Christmas without fresh. With every zone, with every quest, I hope you'll make it with no deaths. 'Cause baby, it's that classic hardcore Christmas fresh.
So it looks like Cargo streamed last night, maybe. This, what song is this? Okay, this is the Cargos album that he did. If you guys don't know, Cargos actually created an album of Christmas music. Or it was actually, there's a lot of stuff, but this is the first song called Won't You Play Fresh With Me, a classic WoW Christmas carol. And these were created before the Christmas Fresh event they did, I think 2 years ago? I think it was 2 years ago. He's got some rap on some of the songs, but if you guys know me, I'm not into rap. I fucking can't stand rap. But he's got some kind of rap. It's not gangster rap, it's crappy rap. All rap is crap in my opinion, but... But yeah, I think he's got some crap on there. I need to get rid of this mail. I can't delete this? There we go.
I supply only the finest goods. Safe travels.
Here, if you aren't familiar with all you gotta do is go to Cargos' YouTube channel if you want to see that album. And so these are all the songs on the classic hardcore holiday. So he got together with a few people and created this music. He's got Thank You Cargos.
Thank you. You are now rocking with DJ Wakey and Cargos. I remember when John and I in Strathholme to that I remember all the cheesy lines. Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I remember.
Yeah, sorry, I'm not into fucking boy band crap. I'm not into boy band shit. So.
Hello. See you around. Have a good one. You need something?
Actually, no, I do need that, don't I?
Safe travel. Hey there.
Snowflakes are falling.
Be careful.
Torrens and Mogor all dressed like gnomes.
Hello.
From
Farewell.
Elwyn to Silver Pine, there's just one thing on our minds. With every zone, with every quest, I hope you'll make it with no deaths, 'cause it won't feel like Christmas without fresh. Buffing each other with mistletoe, gingerbread cookies with milk that's ice cold, and storm wind is covered in Christmas lights. This is the game of our time, and every zone is packed with players all dinging, just watching all that old vanilla it's singing. Azeroth is filled with holiday cheer. Christmas in Westfall this year. With every zone, with every quest, I hope you'll make it with no deaths, 'cause it won't feel like Christmas without fresh. With every zone, with every quest, I hope you'll make it with no deaths, 'cause baby it's classic hardcore Christmas fresh.
Not much. Just, I went out this morning with my wife to have Thanksgiving meal. Then we went out to the woods, kind of drove through some woods and just got out into nature a little bit. And then we came back home. Then I had to walk the dog, feed the cats, do all that, take out the garbage. So finally I sat down and said, it's time to level. Time to level the hunter. Yeah, it's Thanksgiving today, yep. So I had the big old turkey and stuffing and huge meal, right? And this pet is really hungry. Won't eat that. Yeah, he's happy enough for now. Yes, I did have the cranberry sauce. Yep. Gotta have the cranberry sauce, man. I have cranberry sauce, pumpkin pie, stuffing, mashed potatoes, gravy, turkey, ham. It was all that stuff, you know?
Hey there. Have a good one.
The fresh meal add-on. This is Opie. Here. It's this add-on here. It's called Opie, O-P-I-E. You can set up different profiles. You can go to the ring bindings and basically you set up different bindings, right? So like when I hit F3, it's going to pull up my aspects, my hunter aspects, when I hit F2, it's going to pull up my target markers. F4 is tracking. F1 is trade skills. But you can set up all kinds of stuff. You can set up trinkets. You can create macros and, like, here, hold on a second. Like, I could even pull, like, a macro. Here, let me a different one. I don't think you can do it here, but you can do it. Here, let me show you. It's actually pretty cool. If you want, you can actually bind macros to your wheel if you wanted to. We could go to custom rings, right, and say, let's say we went to our tracking here. You can actually go in and go macros and even bind macros, raid markers, you know, all kinds of different things, abilities, pet abilities, items. You know, all those things you can throw on those rings. So it's actually super useful.
Need help?
Super useful.
Be careful.
I can't live without it, especially on a paladin. Really useful on a paladin, because in the paladin you can take all your auras and just put them into a wheel. Like here I've got my aspects, I've got my tracking, and I got my professions, and then just my target markers. I'm going to have target markers on pretty much every class, right? So, that's super useful. What am I doing? What am I doing? Pet.
What can I do for you? Be careful.
But that's cool because you can just switch profiles. Like, you know, I can create different profiles for different characters and just switch to my paladin profile, and all my, you know, all my wheels or all my rings are going to be based on the paladins. Man, how did he run through my how did he run through my fire trap and not get hit by it? Little bastard. What about the buff add-on and minimap add-on? Okay, the minimap add-on is sexy map, right? Yeah, so this map is sexy map, right? And I don't know what you mean by buff add-on. Are you talking about like this buff here, my pet? I mean, these are just the default Blizzard buffs. Shit, I didn't save. Yeah, I already saved. I'm not sure what you mean by I'm not sure what you mean by buff add-on. Voice check, check. 1, 2, 3. Ugh, mouse cord's getting in the way. Where's my... We need the gaming sleeve. We need the gaming sleeve. Alright. I don't know how I ever played games without a gaming sleeve, to be honest. Alright, much better. Ah, shit. I didn't want to hit disable. I think I just disabled some of my add-ons. Hold on a second. No, I did not. Too many heals. Those sneaky bastards. Sneaking up on me like that. How much Hasbro cost? What is he gonna buy, Hasbro? Is he gonna buy Hasbro? Where's my phone at? I'm gonna try to buy Dungeons & Dragons. Oh, maybe that'll be a good thing. Definitely, D&D definitely needs some work. Was it Hasbro that owns it now? Because I know it's changed hands a few times. He was insulted that WOTC insulted. Who is WOTC? You're gonna have to refresh my memory. I didn't know that Elon was into D&D. He must be. He must have been a D&D player then, if he's even gonna put his foot into the ring. Oh, Wizards of the Coast. Yeah, didn't they take over? Yeah, I don't really. I liked it. I don't like what they really did with it, but I guess it kind of had to happen. I don't think D&D was doing very well. But they raised the prices of everything. Like, all the books went up in price, and then they came out with different versions, and... I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. Let's... What is this one? What's bad? Yeah, but what's bad? Wizard of the Coast or Elon? What's bad?
Yeah. Your friends are here. I'm headed out, but there's some leftover pizza if you're hungry.
Okay. Yeah, they're not good. They're just all about trying to make money, right? They're just like trying to make money.
I finally go on the last one, and for the first time in my skating career, I finally land the ollie air flip.
No, you didn't.
You weren't even there. I did.
It's called an air walk. Okay, your mom's not here. You know what that means, right?
Can finally take out your dad's Mercedes.
What? No, we can play as loud as we want.
Oof. All right.
Now that's what I'm talking about, dude. All right, you guys know the song, right?
Yeah, kinda.
We can jam it.
Cool. Let's try it.
You go for some pizza. Yeah, that would be cool. That would actually be really cool if he did. Mark Kern. Like, yeah, like, Mark Kern. I don't know if Mark Kern taking over Classic Plus would be good. It'd be better than the people running it now, probably. You know what I mean? But I don't know. Mark Kern's a little bit of a. He's a little weird. He's a little strange. They need to let me take over Classic Plus. Yeah, I know he was, but he's a little bit different. I'm not saying he's bad, he's just a little different. Ah, fucker. Oh, he died. My Serpent Sting got him. I thought I got that. Oh, I thought I got that. Maybe my inventory is full. Yeah, they do need to be kicked out. Agree 100%. It's burning in the house. Yeah, yeah. Crap. I screwed up. Yeah, I definitely agree with you, though. I mean, all the boomers, we need to get rid of these damn... We need to get rid of all the millennials, man. Get rid of the millennials. I don't think people... This is going to be a pretty much a hot take, but I don't think people who never played D&D, who never grew up in the 80s, should be in control of World of Warcraft. We need to pull it back, right? Bring it back to its roots, you know? All these, like, new age, fondue, fucking whatever, they, them people... They don't know what the fuck they're doing. But I mean, I'm kind of joking, but I'm kind of serious too. But I do think that, the wrong people are in charge of Classic Plus, or in charge of Classic. They're not bad people, but I feel like you need people with a little bit more history, a little bit more kind of knew where some of the stuff came from, maybe knew what the original goal was. But I really think you need to do a reset at some point, and it's just funny to me. Like, I think it's hard when I look at Retail WoW to understand the decisions they make as far as like class design. I don't really understand why they do what they do, because what they do to me just looks stupid. It just looks asinine. Like when you completely destroy, like let's think about Dungeons and Dragons, right? Like when I was in high school in the 80s, right? Like in 1984, right? In 1984, I was a freshman in high school, right? So in 1984, I played Dungeons and Dragons, right? I actually was a dungeon master. I like made maps. I took out graph paper and I drew my maps on there, and I created all my encounters, and I rolled up the hit points of the enemies, and I created the background story. I did all of that. And the classes of the party were, they were very specific roles. You had the healer. You had maybe like a cleric. You had an alignment. Somebody was lawful evil, or somebody was chaotic good, or somebody was neutral. And that really played into how the characters behaved. And the roles of the characters were very specific. You had that character sheet which really defined who you were as a person and who you were as a player and how your player should respond. And if your player didn't act the way his character sheet said he was going to act, it was up to the dungeon master to try to get him back on track. But some of this, you can't take all of that into World of Warcraft, but what you can take into it is basically key specific roles. That's why we have the Holy Trinity. That's why we have healers. That's why we have tanks. And that's why we have damage dealers, because that's really kind of the Holy Trinity, and it makes a lot of sense. Somebody's going to be better at taking damage than somebody else. Somebody's going to be able to heal. Somebody's going to be able to do a lot more damage. Kind of the glass cannon wizard role. But Blizzard has just gotten so far away from that. To me, that's the core of the game, is these very specific niche roles that make a lot of sense and that have a lot of like fantasy to them, a lot of like kind of identity built into them that people hopefully can identify with. Someone that says, I want to be a stealthy character because I like to kill from the shadows. That's kind of like your identity as a player, right? And somebody says, I want to be a healer. I want to help our party to succeed. I want to cure the wounds and keep people from dying. Maybe I'm a really good person, and I'm coming at it from a very lawful good or chaotic good perspective, or even neutral good. But it's a very specific role, and you don't expect the healer to go backstab somebody. You don't expect the healer to pick a lock. You don't expect the healer to basically break down a door that's locked, with their shoulder, because that's just, they don't have the tools in their bag to do that. But Blizzard has gotten so far away from this identity, which players can really uniquely identify with, like a role that they want to kind of play out. They don't have to really role play it, so to speak, but they have to, in their mind and in their hearts, they have to feel like this is what the kind of role that I want to perform, the kind of role I want to excel at, succeed in, excel at, and it's how I want to be identified on the server. When other people see me, they want to say, that's one hell of a great healer, or that's one hell of a great tank. Or he's a DPS who knows how to peel, knows how to protect his healer. Maybe he's a DPS who knows how to when the shit hits the fan, like CC somebody or control them in a way that helps the group to survive. But the problem with that is that uniqueness of those roles is gone. As we've gone further and further into retail, everybody has heals, everybody has CC, everybody has roots, everybody has the ability to escape and run away. So it's just that uniqueness is completely and utterly gone, and I don't understand why you would want to do that. I can't for the life of me, outside of people that play the game that just don't have that understanding of where the game came from. Let's face it, World of Warcraft came from really Dungeons and Dragons. I don't think there's any way that the people that made WoW probably weren't D&D players at some point in their life. You know what I mean? And yeah, I always talk about this with video games. You have to have a stance on what your core ideals are for the game, your core systems, and your core game like tenets. What are the tenets of your game? What is the goal of your game? What is the main purpose of World of Warcraft? And you have to identify a few key things, and you have to stay true to those things. And Blizzard hasn't done that. Initially, it was this really cool, unique kind of fantasy role-playing game where people could get together at a party and help each other, and it's like Dungeons and Dragons. It's got a story, it's got characters, and it's fun, and people work together. And now that's really lost. In fact, a lot of times in retail, people don't work together at all. People level up from 1 to max level, and they never once even talk to anybody else, and I don't know. And it's just I don't understand why you would ever want to do that. I don't understand why you would want to break from this clear ideal, which I think is a formula that's a formula for success. And if you would have just kept WoW the way it was in vanilla, and never really changed it, just added content, like added new dungeons, maybe added a new playable character race every once in a while, maybe every year, every 2 years you add maybe like maybe you add like a halfling to the game, maybe you add like a playable like ogre or something, something kind of interesting, but something that doesn't really break away from the fantasy of what the game is, and I think if you would have done that, the game still would have been massively successful. You never needed to come out with these really stupid stories about spaceships crashing on the planet and going back in time. Time travel should have never been in World of Warcraft. Spaceships coming out from outer space landing on the planet should have never been in World of Warcraft. And there's so much stuff that I just don't like. Yeah, D&D classes were not balanced, and I don't think classes are meant to be balanced. I think they're meant to be like, and there's a lot. The cool thing about D&D though is there's a lot of room for play. The dungeon master can let you get away with a lot of stuff based on what the character comes up with. There's always like the saving throw rolls. There's always agility check, whatever. There's different types of things you can try to do that really isn't written down on paper. Nothing says a thief can't walk a tightrope and attack somebody from above and stab them. There's nothing that says you can't do that. Like in WoW, it's a little different. You have specific abilities, so you're limited a lot more in what you can do. But well, I think races could be very disruptive. Now, I 100% agree that races can be disruptive, but if they're added in a way that doesn't really affect the story, like adding like a halfling to the game, I mean, how destructive would that be? Like, if the race is some... I'm going to go on a big tangent here, probably. It's a pretty cool map, actually. This isn't really the map I want, though. Let's do... I guess we can take Kalimdor as an example, right? This is actually a pretty good. So, do we have paint? Yeah. So, I don't think adding races to the game is that disruptive if you do it in a good way. Right, so let's say you do, because if you look at these zones in the original vanilla, like there's lots of room in these maps. Because what I think is disruptive when you add new continents and like add like a whole lot more to the game. I don't think you need to do that. Like, it doesn't have to be this huge, massive story around why goblins are in the game. There doesn't have to be a lot. Like, if you don't have to add a ton of quests, you don't have to add a huge story. It could be as simple as, oh, we just found this race somewhere off in the forest that we didn't know was there, and maybe you go in there with one of your characters and you learn about them. Maybe you do something to complete some sort of achievement. It just unlocks the ability for you to basically create that race. But there's nothing super amazing about that race. There's nothing about that race that's going to break the game. There's nothing about that race that really affects the story of the overall story of World of Warcraft. So, like, let's say we're looking at this map, and like even in this map, there's places in this map. Actually, probably easier to show you this in game, but there's places in the map that are very much unpopulated. Like if you go to in the game, I'll show you in the game. Let's do level 1 character so we can do it without risk of dying. So all I was saying was to create some it was not to create something that would even appear in like the character creator. It would just be like if you're like leveling in the world, and let's say you go to, as an example, Tirisfal Glades. So if you look at Tirisfal Glades, there's this whole section over here of the map that's like pretty much there's nothing there, right? There's absolutely nothing here. What would stop you from creating some sort of storyline that takes you through some sort of hidden cave or some sort of previously undiscovered cave or tunnel that leads back into like a forested area here? That's home for halflings, right? And the halflings have lived here for hundreds of years, and they pretty much are self-sufficient. They've got access to the water, so they live off of fish. They've never really, they've got a background story where maybe they didn't like the big people of the world. They were too big, and they made fun of them thousands of years ago, so they just vanished off into this like area here. And the path to get there, maybe there was like an avalanche or something that blocked it off so nobody could get in, and they just became self-sufficient. But something happens that opens up some sort of a pathway into this area, and you go back there and you discover these people who've lived there for thousands of years. There's not and you just, you do some quests, maybe you help them do some stuff, and maybe you get some sort of an achievement that says, hey, you know what? Now that you've found these guys, you've completed this achievement, now if you want, you can play as a halfling. And they might have their own specific like racials, but other than that, it doesn't really affect the world. I mean, how does this in any way negatively impact the world, right? You just say, okay, they're halfling. They've got higher dexterity. Maybe their strength's going to be, they've got their strength's they're not going to be as strong as some of the other races. Give them some benefits. They're going to be better at like rogue because they're smaller. They can sneak up on people easier. Stuff like that. They have a bonus to stealth. There's lots of things you could do, but I don't see how that in any way hurts the game, right? Because it's pretty simple. It's pretty non-invasive, non-intrusive. It's not anything super complicated. That's all I was talking about. Because Blood Elves, they tried to integrate Blood Elves too much into the whole overarching lore of the world. And they tried to do stuff where the Blood Elves had a huge impact on other races. What I'm proposing is that these new races that you might add would in no way have a huge impact on really the rest of the world. I do, and like I said, I was talking about adding something like once every year or two. So I just think it adds some freshness to the game. But I mean, look at something like Black Desert where they've added like so many characters, and I don't think it's a good thing. I don't think Black Desert or games like Vindictus having 20, 30 playable races is a good thing. I've never thought that was a good thing. I think it's a bad thing. So I agree with you in a lot of respects, right? But the halfling that I propose wouldn't really be that much different than just a regular night elf. They have some slightly different racials, and they just have a slightly different background story. That's about it. It doesn't really impact the game. They can play rogue, maybe rogue fighter, Make it simple. They can play rogue fighter mage, or I'm sorry, rogue fighter hunter. They can't be a warlock. They can't be a mage. They can't be, keep it simple. But I feel like the people that are working on Classic Plus, and I don't know them personally, but I've seen interviews with the people that are working on Classic, and the people that worked on Season Discovery, and a lot of them are really young, and I just don't feel like they have the history and the background to really. I don't think they have the background to create a Classic Plus that's really, I think, what would be really good. You know, I could be wrong. I mean, hopefully I am wrong. Hopefully they'll prove me wrong, you know? So... And I cannot get my final axe. I'm wondering if it's like, you know what? I think it's in my bank. I think I have one of these axes in my bank, and that's why it's not letting me finish the quest. So, yeah, I gotta something. I think it's in my bank. I think that's what screwed me up was I think it said it was complete, and then it said it wasn't. Like when I think what happens is, I think if you have an item in the bank now, it didn't used to work, well, maybe it did. I think it did always work this way. So if you have an item in the bank, and as you're collecting items in the world, it's going to say, like, let's say you've got one axe in the bank, and you pick up one axe off a mob, it's going to say you're 2 out of 10. And one of them is the one in your bag, and the other one's the one in your bank. So when I got to 9 here and picked up 9, I think it said 10 out of 10. But then when I looked at my log, it says 9 out of 10. So it's a little confusing, but I'm like 90% sure that I have an axe in my bank, and that's why it's actually not letting me complete the quest. Well, I never. Hey, Voss. Yeah, I don't go by that. I don't ever want to add races like that to the game. I don't want there to be dragons, and I don't want there to be dragons and demons, and I'm not really into that too much at all, to be honest. I really like this. I mean, to me, Stormbringer is. I like Stormbringer role-playing game, and I like that actually better than Dungeons & Dragons, only because I like where the races, they don't really have like the elves and stuff. It's mostly like all the races are just humanoids. but the races have their own different. Basically your starting place is what really affects, your race. Your racials are based on kind of like where you grew up. But there are some races that are slightly, or some humans are maybe a little bit different than others. But there's going to be like the humanoids that grew up in the Weeping Waste, so they grew up in the wasteland, so they're used to they have better survivability skills. Their charisma is going to be lower because they live in an extremely harsh environment where the sun and the sand just brutalizes their skin. But they have their higher constitution because of that, because of the fact they've had to live a hard life, because they have to get used to how to deal with. Think of like the Fremen in Dune. How they're really tough because they've had to live in very harsh environments. And then you have the wizards of Dar Jar, and they're in a more like kind of upscale, a society that's based more around like very intelligent thinkers, and and so they're very skilled in the arts of magic and stuff, because their society is a little bit more based around learning and education. But they're still just humanoids, right? That's what I really like about Stormbringers. A lot of it's just humanoids, but then there's like this. So on the surface, it seems pretty straight. It seems like not too crazy, not too fantastical. But then you start looking at the gods and the pantheons, and it gets crazy at that point. You start seeing these, different beasts of every different thing you could imagine, and you could be like that crazy octopus beast deity could be your patron, and you might worship that octopus deity, and because of that you get some sort of special abilities. And there's stuff like, one of my favorite things about Stormbringer is the ability to magically bind demons to armor and weapons to add like magical bonuses and effects, which I just think is one of the coolest things. Yeah, but I mean, I think in WoW, I mean, I definitely love the traditional high fantasy, the elves, the dwarves, and the orcs, and all that stuff. I think is really cool, but I do think it's been overdone. It's been overdone, obviously, to a very high degree. So
Looking for something specific?
all right, so we're gonna go to my bank and see if I have that axe after I
Hello.
turn this quest
See you
in.
around.
We'll see if I have this axe, and if I do, I'm thinking one more level, and then we'll go get my raptor pet out of the barrens. My rare raptor pet. We'll go pick up Goldeneye. The more races you add. Yeah, I agree with that. I actually totally
Well
agree.
met.
I agree with that. And one of the things that's
Safe try.
interesting when we have these types of conversations is I have my ideas, but I'm very easily swayed on my ideas. Like, I'll say one thing, and if you give me good evidence to the contrary, I will very quickly change my mind. I'm the kind of person that can change my mind very quickly. And I have ideas, but a lot of times those ideas are easy to put bullet holes in, which is fine, which is great. And I think that's why the discussions need to be had. And I think that's why you need different people on a MMO. You need different people on the creative team, people with different ideals. So like, I have certain ideals and you have certain ideals, Valis, and I think us being on the same team would be good because we can work together to come up with like a balance. You know what I mean? Yeah. Yeah. I think there could be stories that are interesting. Not if you're a dragon. Like there's a book I read called Rhapsody, and if you look at the Elizabeth Hayden, right? If you read this book, and it's a really good book actually. I liked the book. I guess it only got a 3.97. I think it deserves a little bit better rating than that, personally. Rhapsody is a woman, a singer of some town who's swept up into events of world-shattering import on the run from an old romantic interest who won't take no for an answer. Rhapsody literally bumps into a couple of shady characters, half-breeds, who come to her rescue in the nick of time. Only the rescue turns into an abduction, and Rhapsody soon finds herself dragged along an epic voyage, one that spans centuries and ranges across a wonder-filled fantasy world. A world so real, you can hear the sweet music of Rhapsody's awe bathed in the smell of smoldering forges deep within the culture. Actually, I thought this was a really good book. But Rhapsody actually has some they call her Child of Fire. And she's pretty much like immune to fire. She like put her hand in fire and it wouldn't even hurt her. So she has some characteristics of a dragon, but she's not a dragon. You know what I mean? So there's certainly ways that you can make things interesting. I mean, you could make races that have, you know, some types of benefits, but you don't want them to be a dragon because obviously dragons are too powerful. Jack Vance. The father of the D&D magic system? Do I have... Jack Vance. Look, the Does Dragons role-playing game associated with literature and used a magic system inspired in part by Jack Vance's Dying Earth series. Notably, magic used in the game forgot spells they have learned immediately upon casting. See, the thing with that, I always thought that was kind of weird. Like you cast a spell and then you forget it. I don't think that translates into an MMO very well. You know what I mean? I don't think that translates in. I mean, maybe in Dungeons and Dragons it works, but man, in an MMO setting, it's like it doesn't work too well. I mean, there's lots of RPG games out there where you have to have a scroll. Like you guys have probably played some old video games where you had to have an actual physical scroll to cast a spell. I think Baldur's Gate's like that, right? Where you know, there's certain spells you can learn, but there's certain spells you can learn and know them always. But then there's also some that you don't know, but you pick up a scroll and you use the scroll to cast it. And then once you cast that scroll, the scroll's gone and you can't cast it again. There's my Battle-Born Axe. I told you that was in my. I told you that was in my bank.
Good day to you. See you around.
What can I do for you? Go with honor, friend. See you around.
I buy and trade. Farewell.
You know, a really good series. I don't know if you've read it, Vost. I mean, I've got too many books that I need to read. It's ridiculous how many books I need to read. But if you read you've read the Thomas Covenant, right? The series I would recommend is Thomas Covenant. I mean, I definitely would highly recommend the Chronicles of Thomas Covenant. This is a really good series. Another book that I really enjoy, which probably I read when I was a lot younger, and it probably is not as good today as it was then, although it is 4.5 stars. Now, it's only 4.0 stars here on Goodreads. But I really liked, this is more of a book probably for younger people, but I actually liked The Sword and the Chain. So all of them had chosen this world as their destiny, a realm where dragons were only too real and magic, not science, was the law of the land. Said they were trying to... So what's interesting about this book is you're basically in our world, and these people they're playing like, I think, Dungeons & Dragons or something, and they actually get transported back into the actual world. It's almost like it's almost like that. What's that movie with the board game? It's almost like a Jumanji, you know. But I think it's an entertaining book for a singular book. But the Thomas Covenant, this one here, I mean, these are crazy. Do they have a Goodreads? I wonder if they got a Goodreads. Let's go Thomas Covenant. I'm curious what Goodreads rates these books. Okay, Goodreads gives it 4.1 out of 5, but 92% liked this book. Fantasy Book Review 9.3 out of 10. Dave Langford reviewed White Gold Wheel for White Dwarf #4 and stated that Donaldson's convoluted approach to fantasy is original and welcome, though Covenant's endless tortured dilemmas can pall. A further annoyance is the diction, clumsily erudite and even as ever. If only some editor had cleaned out this nonsense and trimmed the book to liftable size. So it is a little bit hard to read in some places, but yeah, but it's an interesting book. Definitely interesting. Definitely, it's very, very different. Much different than what you're used to. But I still think Michael Moorcock is my favorite, probably my favorite writer for kind of fantasy style. Like, you know, the Elric books are really, really cool. If you haven't read, like, you know, the books by Michael Moorcock, those are really good. And of course, The Wheel of Time is probably my all-time favorite books. I just think they're really well written, but yeah. I mean, everyone plagiarized Moorcock, which is kind of sad. I know everybody plagiarizes him, but I love Michael Moorcock's stories. Like, you know, Rakir the Red Archer. I love some of his other stories, the smaller ones that don't have anything to do with Elric. Like Rakir the Red Archer and Moonglum and stuff like that. I still haven't gotten my Moonglum book. Yeah, they don't have it. Look at how much these books are going for. Look, the Stormbringer. I mean, look at this role-playing. This is like the player's manual for Stormbringer. Look at that, $195. I don't have this one. I have that. I've got that. I don't think I have this one either. A lot of these books I have, but I don't have all of them. I've got the Pantang one. They're $125. It's tough. It's hard to read because there's so many. Well, there's not. So there's quite a bit of like TV series and stuff you can watch. Reading has been very difficult for me to get back into. I'm not gonna lie. I think if I was you know, in the woods in Tennessee with my wife, and you know, in the cabin for like a month or something, I'd do quite a bit of reading because I love sitting on the porch in the woods and in nature, and you know, where there's just nothing to really. There's really nothing to distract you. You know, you're there in the woods, and yeah, I think that is a good place to read. You know, me and my wife haven't had a long vacation, like we haven't had the vacation we wanted to have in a few years, where we've just taken off like a month off of work, you know, and gone up to our cabins in Tennessee, and that's something that we really want to do.
Can I help you?
Manifil
Very well.
Harbor. What are we looking at here? But it's been tough getting back into reading. It was one time when me and my wife said, hey, like every day, like after dinner, we should just spend like at least 30 minutes reading at the very minimum, you know? And I think that would be a great idea. And the other thing I want to do is I want to draw more. I love drawing, and I just don't do it enough because, again, it's time consuming. And I don't know. If I ever stopped playing, you know, MMOs, then I would spend a lot more time probably playing my guitar and drawing and stuff. And it's 6 o'clock and I am so tired, man. Eating that big Thanksgiving meal and then running out to the woods. We were just running around all the morning. I've been up since like 9 a.m. And I went to bed pretty late. I don't know, like I think I went to bed around 1. I think I went to bed around 2 a.m. Maybe even 3 a.m. Yeah, I know. I think that would be super. Well, what I really want to do, there's two things I want to do. Like, one thing I've always wanted to do, because I've got quite an extensive library of pictures, of like textures, trees, rocks, plant life. I've always wanted to create my own MMO, but obviously I can't do it on my own. But I've always wanted, at least at the very bare minimum, create like a scene, like go into like Unreal Engine and just create like a very basic, like an inn or something with maybe a small wooded forest nearby. And I've always wanted to work on creating the 3D objects, you know, creating some trees, creating some structures. And I know that a lot of that stuff isn't really done, you know, a lot of stuff isn't done by hand anymore, which is good and bad, you know. But I definitely have always wanted to kind of model some of that stuff. And I'm actually really good at modeling in 3D programs because I've done it before. I'm actually really good at it. But I don't know. It's just finding the time to do those things. But I would love to spend time working on a video game, like when I'm retired, and just playing around in Unreal Engine and creating some stuff, and you know, even creating like maybe the soundtrack too. But all that stuff takes time, and maybe one day, maybe in my reincarnated life, right? But like that's where I should have been. Like my job, my best probably role would have been to work at a video game company where I was, you know, probably either creating the art or helping to, probably being like on the creative team, being like a Chris Metzen. I think that would have been a much better role for me, like for a career. You know, my whole family's artists. I grew up in a family full of like really, really good artistic people. And it's just kind of in my blood, you know. But I think I'm also got a good handle on what people like in MMOs, you know. But I am tired. You've probably heard me say that a lot lately. I've been tired way too much. I would say the year of 2024 is the year of me being tired. That's how I would classify this year for me, you know. Yeah, I don't need a useless game dev degree. I've already got a degree in programming, and you know, like the cool thing is like the tools are getting so powerful nowadays that you don't really have to be like in the old days. If you wanted to make your own video game, you had to code your own game engine from scratch. You don't need to do that anymore. You don't even need to like you used to go in and have to like create different like LOD maps for trees. Like, okay, if we're standing right next to a tree, it's got to have like really high resolution texture map. And as we get further away, we've got to load in like lower quality texture maps so that we can see more stuff in the distance without, you know, affecting the performance of the CPU of the computer. But now like Unreal Engine just fucking does all that shit on the fly for you. You don't even have to create those maps anymore, which is a huge time saver. And just like doing the UV mapping and stuff of textures to objects is a lot more handled by the computer in a lot of ways, and a lot better than it used to be. So that's easier. So and then you've got AI. I don't know how much. Eventually, AI is going to be incorporated into game engines such that you can actually just talk to the game engine and say, "Hey, I need this," and it's going to be able to. You say, "I need a character. I need like a character that's this tall, has these types of characteristics, and I want you to create the character model, and it's got to have this type of, you know, movement. The joints have to move in this with this degree of rotation. Like, oh, the shoulder joint needs to move 90 degrees this way, and you know, 180 degrees that way, and it's just going to create the character model for you with the associated animations. You know, and that's probably not that far down the path, I wouldn't think. Yeah, some vitamin D. I don't take any multivitamins now. I probably should. Oh, I'm so tired. I think I'm gonna take a break. I think I may take a nap or something. I don't know. Today was it's just the days take a lot more out of me than they used to. Like getting up, running out, walking the dog, just doing the stuff that you normally do. It takes a lot out of me nowadays. But a lot of it, I think, is just because I've been living on 5-6 hours of sleep every day for the months, and I think it's just caught up to me. You know what I mean? Yeah. Well, I'm in the sun every day because I walk the dog. So I'm walking the dog like three times a day at a minimum. So I'm definitely in the sunshine, you know, every single day. And I sit out on the balcony in the summer and I get a little bit of a suntan on purpose. So I get some sun. I probably should get some more though. Have you seen, hey, Vols, have you seen the stupid videos, all the content around the stupid OnlyFans guild? I mean, it's just so stupid. It's like I don't even understand the appeal. Like, Goose has been doing all this, like, just, like, he's just constantly doing, like, you know, where is it? Maybe it's, yeah, see, OnlyFans. First official OnlyFans meeting, and this constant crap around OnlyFans, and it's just basically this streamer guild. There's a guild called OnlyFans, hardcore guild, and it's it's kind of silly. I don't like it. I don't really care for these OnlyFans because a lot of these people are they just want attention. They're attention whores who just want you to, you know, they're trying to get people to watch their streams, and they're just, it's, whatever. They can get their ego stroked, basically. They're egomaniacs.
So, guys, we gotta get 60 before Fresh. Fresh is coming out in a few days from now, 21st of November. We're gonna be doing OnlyFans when that comes out. I want to get Ananas to 60 before that. So we have some things to do. We got stuff to do, boys. I'm almost 54, and I think I actually want to start by heading over to Western Plaguelands, because this zone is absolutely amazing. We also do have a achievement that we're doing today, which is the stones that bind us in Blasted Lands, and then maybe also the final blow and stuff like that in Fellwood.
Yeah, it's just, there's all this drama surrounding it, and it's just, it seems so stupid to me. Like, it's just, I have like no desire to watch the drama. It's like, oh, this guy cheated, so he's got to go stand in the arena in Stranglethorn Vale, and people kill him. And it just seems so childish. Yeah, it just seems, all of it seems very childish to me. But you know what? I'm 54 years old. That's probably why it seems childish. I'm a lot older. I'm not like one of these but there's some of these streamers that I feel like being a streamer, someone who's been a streamer like since they were like maybe 15 or 18, I feel like they don't mature. Like they don't mature like normal people. You know what I mean? You see someone like Sodapop, and I don't think this guy's ever, you know, you can't live a life as just a streamer, and because you're basically dealing with your streamer base, the people that watch you are just mostly kids. They're mostly pretty young people. You're not gonna mature where all you do is talk to little kiddies all day long. Where people would go insane eventually. Yeah, I've never been in a guild where I guess I've been in some guilds where people kind of lost their tempers and screamed and yelled, but not very often. You know, that was way back in like 2008 or something, maybe like Wrath of the Lich King era.
What's on your mind? You got my attention. Off with you. How are you? Be good. Talk to me. Watch your back.
That's where you were exposed to the extreme drama? Yeah. Yeah. You're a notorious troll? I can't believe it, Voss, you were a troll. I wasn't. I was pretty quiet. I ran some guilds. You know, I think I ran a guild in Wrath of the Lich King called the Warrior Poets. So I was a guild leader. And I had quite a few people in the guild. And we had quite a bit of fun. I also ran a guild called Jinx, which was pretty cool. Had a lot of fun doing that. Had a really cool website that I created for that, actually. It was a vanilla guild. The cool thing about it was that because, you know, vanilla, you don't have guild banks, so I created the website, and I don't know if I can still see. What was that website software? Guild. What was that? What was that software they used to use for guilds? Or what was it called? What was it called? Probably not going to be able to find it. It was Enix? Enix website? Enix, what was it called? Enix? I can't remember. No pet? Yeah, I've got a pet. I just been doing some stuff where I'm not currently using it. What was that website software? It was called, to see. Enix, wasn't Enix, for like, Shifter, that was it, Shifter. Jinx web. There it is. Ah, I actually created this website, and it was free. It had ads and stuff. I don't know if I'll be able to log in though. Let's see. Yeah, I don't have permissions though. But I created this site for Jinx. It was really cool because in the forums I created all of like the sections for like gear, for like cloth and all kinds of stuff, all kinds of like cloth and, you know, ore. And so basically people could go in here and say, hey, I need, you know, this is what's in, this is what people have that they're willing to trade or sell. And so it was a way you could post stuff, say, hey, I've got this stuff and I want to sell it. Or it's just a way to like basically have like almost like a guild bank. It was pretty cool. It worked for a little while, but only dwarves. Turtle WoW. Yeah, I'm not playing Turtle WoW right now, but I did play Turtle WoW quite a bit back in the day.
Generous.
But anyways, I'm going to take a break because I'm really tired. It's been a long day. Yeah, I've got a bunch of... I have quite a few Discord servers. Like, I had a Discord server for my guild called Knights of Faith. I had a Discord server... This one back here is a really old one. I don't even remember. This is a really old... This was really cool. This was actually a phone app. I used to use... This is a phone app I used on my Windows phone. This is no joke, a Windows phone. This is from 2000. No, this can't be right. 2020. Maybe it wasn't Windows Phone, because this says it was from 2020, which I find hard to believe. But that was pretty cool because you can see the different spells and stuff for different. You basically go to your classes on your phone and see what abilities are available at what level. Of course, we don't need that anymore because now we have add-ons that do this shit. This is me setting up my account so I can play some Korean games. This is a project I did in a class. I actually modeled this in a 3D program. So my teacher, what a bastard, he went around the classroom and gave people different things to do for their 3D modeling project, and he gave people stupid stuff like a Rubik's Cube or like something simple, and then he gave me this freaking bell. like a old school like bell, which would be like a I can't remember if this was a bell for like a telephone, like an old style telephone, but I did one hell of a good job modeling this. I mean, I used a lot of different techniques to model this in a 3D program. These are all individual pieces, like this gold piece is individual, and how I bent it, because it was to make it realistic, like the screws with the cuts in them, the cord, like, you know, everything. The only problem I had with this was creating the cord, the copper kind of cord wrapped around the spindles here. That was, I couldn't figure quite out how to do that. That was tough. That was pretty cool though. That was actually really cool. Man, yeah, this, it looks like I think I created this server is meant to be like a server for my YouTube channel. I just never ended up using it. I don't really know why. And then I ended up creating a different one. I'm not sure why, but now I created this one called Cast Playground, which is the one that we do use. So, Star System, ooh, what's this? Here's some pictures from Star System that Blue's put up. These are different planets. Oh, this is pretty cool. Very cool. Look at the size of that ship. The ship is massive. That's awesome. Yeah, I had to win this one way back in the day, like way back in 2000. I don't even know. Like I had to win this one for a while. He was on Moonguard, the big RP server. Yeah, I remember Moonguard. You're reformed now, you know. Anyways, I'm gonna take a break. It's only 6:30, but it feels like midnight to me. I'm so tired. So I'm going to take a break. I'll come back and play again in probably like 3 or 4 hours. I'm literally going to go sleep for like 3 or 4 hours. And then I'm going to come back and play with some renewed energy, because right now I'm just feeling really depleted. I'm level 23. I want to do some quests in the wetlands to get to 24. We can probably do, yeah, we'll do some quests in the wetlands when we get to 24. We can probably even do the first Raptor quest, but I think if we get to 24, we're pretty close. I mean, once we get to like 24, 25-ish, we can start, doing some quests in wetlands, but then we can start doing some of the Darkshire quests, but also we can do the Astronar quests. You know, there's some quests in Astronar we can do, which I actually might do those. I'll probably do the ones in the wetlands. I'll probably do like 2 or 3 quests in the wetlands. Then I'm probably going to go to Astronar and do some quests there, because I'm going to go ahead and pick up some, go ahead and pick up my cookbook pick up my cooking book, and then we'll probably head back at some point and start doing Darkshire, do some of the quests there. Then at some point I'm gonna have to go to Booty Bay to pick up my fishing book, but I don't think I need to raise my fishing past 150 just yet. I think once I get to around like level 30, I think that's when we'll look at going to get my fishing book. I think we probably don't really need it until then. But anyways, I'm tired. Thanks for stopping by, guys. Hope you guys are having a great Thanksgiving. And like I said, I'll come back in 3 or 4 hours and we'll keep leveling. I don't know what I'm doing tomorrow. I have no idea. I got to talk to my wife and see what she's doing. But I'm obviously off the next 4 days. Today, tomorrow, Saturday, Sunday, I'm off. So I will catch you guys later, man. Hope you guys are having a good one. And I'll see you again pretty soon. Peace out.